In today's video, I do want to showcase a fun little day I had, a morning, afternoon / night mission. I'm a creative human being. It's a weird thing to start the video saying, but I go skateboarding in the morning and I usually work on something new in the middle of the day, and this time it's going to be about food. And guess what? Today is a sponsored video. Somehow I had this new idea for showcasing me cooking new meals and then at night working on my art and then having a fun narrative over the art. But luckily I was able to get a sponsor for this video, and it is Chil. So stay tuned for me talking about that and my experience with that. So this video today is about skateboarding. It's about all the things that people have been talking to me about recently on my channel, aka skateboarding in contests. There's been a big contest that has been circulating on the YouTube sphere that I was invited to, and I have had trouble kind of trying to come up with the reason of how to explain to people, or just the way that I'm going to explain to people about why I'm not super into contests. Now, the truth is, historically, I have skated a lot of contests. When I grew up in Columbia, South Carolina, every time there would be a new contest, I would skate it. I would always be very anxious about them, but I won a lot. Like in my hometown of South Carolina and North Carolina, I won a bunch of contests, a bunch of local contests. We had our own King of the Road one year, and me and my friend won that because you're in teams, and I had good luck with contests for a very long time. And I remember one year I went and skated Tampa Am, and I didn't do super well in it, and I skated Dam Am, and Dam Am and Tampa Am are big contests that have, they're like the core contest of America. And with Dam Ams, there's 6, I think, across the country, and if you do well in them, you get an automatic pass to basically Tampa Am, and it's a cool thing. And I was lucky enough at a younger age to be skateboarding a lot, and I remember when I went in the contest, the judges, they just liked me and liked my skating. And ironically, if you know Dan Corrigan, he's another YouTuber, I skated with him one year and he got second place and he won the Destroyer Award, which is basically like the most outstanding performance, which was so cool. And I remember thinking like, damn, my friend did that. That's really cool, because I was hanging out with him the whole time. The next year I did that. Somehow I got second place, I won the Destroyer Award, and I was automatically in the semifinals for Tampa Am. Tampa Am is like a big contest. It's where all the most popular pros and AMs today have come from, have skated. Like literally all your favorite pros have been to this contest. And I think the year that I went, I stayed in my van, which was really fun actually. And I remember like even Jagger Eaton was in it, like the guy who got third at the Olympics. And I think in that contest I got 12th place out of like 250 skaters, and that was pretty much it. I remember after that contest, the amount of anxiety and just stress I went to just to skate the Dam Am and then the Tampa Am was way more than someone like me could handle. It was very, very tough. And the reason that skateboarding was like that for me, and the reason these contests were so anxiety-inducing and they never got easier no matter how much I skated them, was because that wasn't my version of skating. It was this totally different world where I could take my applications of skating and apply them to this contest. But skateboarding to me has never been that. The whole reason I got into skateboarding is because it just seemed like this fun way to escape the norm. Like, I think when I was 10 years old, I saw this new path in life I could take by taking my skateboard and going around. To me, it's a very like RPG adventure. It's I go and I collect points, and to me, it was very Pokemon-esque. I went and made friends in new cities. I documented doing the tricks that I learned at spots that I found. So it was just like checking off the list. It was never this thing where I wanted to compete against other people. And it's always been that way for me. So contests, it was just so counterintuitive. It felt very sportsman-like. And it's fun, and I think a lot of people can sort of get their minds out of it. But at the end of the day, you are competing against friends. And I don't think there's any way to kind of get my brain out of it. I'm a very competitive person. And once I'm in that, I'm ready to compete. I'm ready to win. And I think the world will always like that, but I just don't. I think that's okay. I think there are things that you like and I don't. And people out there just don't like, and I definitely just don't like competition like amongst other skateboarders. I think skateboarding is my way kind of outside the world, so I wanted to keep it sacred, to me at least. And I can be competitive in other things in my life, but just not with skating. That's just to me that's just so fun of a thing to go out there and play with outside of the realm of competition. And before we get into all the other stuff about this new Battle of the Barracks thing that I'm skating, or that I was supposed to skate, and kind of so on and so forth, and what the future is, I want to talk about today's sponsor. It's actually Chil. I've gotten massively into food and health, and in the future I'll be showing like foods that I'm making and talking about meals a little more, and health and just diets in general. The tagline of Chil is the world's #1 complete food. And And what does that even mean? I actually had to look it up. Every Huel meal contains a balance of all 27 essential vitamins and minerals, protein, essential fats, carbs, fiber, and phytonutrients in a single product. So essentially, you're getting everything you need in your diet. So at the time of me recording this audio, I've had Huel a lot. I've actually been drinking it almost every single day. And it's not supposed to be a meal replacement. It's basically like something you eat in between lunch or dinner. It's kind of like a snack replacement in a way. And to me, I'm always really hungry between lunch and dinner. I mean, I exude a lot of energy throughout the day, but I really try not to get carried away because, I'm weak. I'll eat lunch and then I'll eat, terrible food. So having something that's actually healthy to eat in between the two meals for me has been, it's been game changing. It's been great. It's also an easy source of fiber and protein. And I am, vegan, but I also have always been I make sure that I get the protein that I need. But it's cool because this drink alone has 20 grams of protein per serving. Just eating meat doesn't necessarily give you the protein you need. So you have to, if you're trying to get all the right stuff, then you need to be aware, even if it's meat. It's only 105 calories per serving, and it's a great source of vitamin D and essential amino acids. So I got chocolate fudge brownie and vanilla caramel, and honestly, they're both so good that I don't even look at which one I'm grabbing. I just grab either one, and I put it in my drink, and I drank it, and it's delicious. So if you relate to kind of the issues I was dealing with and how awesome it has been to have this in my life now, click the link in my description to get started with Huel's Complete Protein today. Let me know in the comments which flavor you choose.
Oh my gosh.
It is healthy for you, but it tastes very sweet and like something that wouldn't be healthy, but it definitely is. That's delicious. So let's get into the Big Daddy. Why did I say no to skate in the barracks? I actually didn't plan on going so detailed into this, but as I started recording, I realized that a lot of people watching this probably have this in mind. They're watching it being like, John, talk about it, dude. And the truth is I wasn't going to talk about it because I felt like there was a lot of heat behind it at first. And I thought it was a little awkward because I thought, I don't know, I was texting with Steve Barra and it just seemed a little, I don't know, there was a lot of conflict behind it. I just didn't want to start more drama. And then Steve and I talked a little bit and I think we found like a really good mutual understanding and we found a really good place. And I think we're actually really similar in so many ways, and I really appreciate what he does for skating. And he was totally understanding at the end of it. But at the beginning, when I kind of saw how the whole thing was set up, first of all, I will just say right off the bat, the reason I didn't skate it was very personal. Moving from New York to Texas was so mentally exhausting in so many different ways that when I finally got to Texas, I just didn't want to move. Like I wanted to lay in bed for a long time because when we first got to Texas, the condo we were moving into, moving out of New York is exhausting. And in months before that, it was snowing and I could barely skate. So I was like really mentally drained and I was still trying to do YouTube every day. You know how YouTubers complaining about YouTube, nothing new. But when I got to Texas, the pipes in our new condo had basically burst because they had this random snowstorm. So then we had to live in hotels for a month and we had to pay for that. And it was like this really expensive, like terrible process. So when we finally got into our condo, we had a bunch of other issues and we had to fix that and this. And it just, it was like nonstop. But, I was trying to keep it together, not go online and just babble and complain. But by the time Steve Barra hit me up, I was still coming off of that like intense like annoyance of life. And then he was like, hey, do you want to take multiple trips to California, if you win, to be in this contest that gets insane amount of views and basically be in the limelight and be judged by like everyone. And I was like, dude, I can't do it. Like now I just cannot do it. If I become more settled, great, let's go. But right now, it wasn't in the cards, and there was a little bit of drama that kind of lined up at first with me and Steve because I was annoyed that my name was in the brackets, but I understood where they were coming from. They just, when you have a contest that is so big and is so huge, why did I say it like it was two different things? It's a huge contest, and people, I'm sure in his head he was like, dude, it's a compliment. I'm saying like, oh yeah, you're in it, John. That's sick. That's tight. You're going to be stoked to see your name. I bet he was thinking like, oh, he's going to be stoked. And I was like, damn, that's cool. But, they reached out to me beforehand. And the communication was just all over the place because, Steve Barra runs the account, but a couple other people have the account. So it's just like it was a hard thing. And it was annoying. Like when I saw my name up there, I was like, oh, what the hell? This is stupid. Da da da. And then, Steve made a video talking about all this and how he was like, he was like, whoops, my bad. And I feel that he regretted this is terrible. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to do this in one take and I'm trying to be authentic. So I'm just going to talk from the heart. But I didn't want to skate it. And then a lot of other people kind of opted out too. As Steve said in his newest video, it was like Andy's not in it. Dylan Jebb couldn't do it. He messaged me too. Jun Saito is not in it. And I get it. Jun Saito is like, dude, he doesn't want to be on the front like that. He doesn't want to be in charge. And I think this conversation, it leads to something bigger than all of us, obviously, which is the audience. When Steve first approached me and was like, hey, this is going to be it's going to be a big community thing. It's influencers, pros, Joes, icons. I was like, damn, that is a recipe for disaster. I was like, people are going to pick sides. It's going to be very competitive, and the audience is going to turn into like, that cringy football audience that you see in sports where it's like, hey, like, some dude on his couch who, has walked like a mile total in the last 30 days being like, these guys suck at football. Damn, these guys suck. I hate this. And the reason I got into skating is to get out of all that. I don't care about, I don't know. I just care about going to do the thing. And the truth is, if you look at the views on these games of skate, they're insane. I mean, every game is getting like 500,000 views, which props to Steve for setting something up where he's killing it. He's got brand deals associated with every video. The AdSense is going to be insane. Like, Barracks is getting a big ass payday for this game of skate, and props to him. But, even with Steve, there is a sacrifice. Steve has, people will probably be like, woe is him. But, it is hard to mentally deal with. Steve himself is probably getting he's probably personalizing a lot of these comments and insults towards the Barracks. But when I saw the comment section for these first videos, you got to realize that a lot of these people commenting are people who lie dormant. Most YouTube videos don't get these kind of views, especially in skateboarding. And now all these dudes come out from the woodworks. Like, the average views for like the best kind of skate content is like 100,000 views. And then you get 500,000, that's 400,000 eyes of people who regularly don't watch skateboarding all of a sudden watching skateboarding. So they're going to be hypercritical and honestly hyper toxic. These games already have just been insane. Like, reading the comments, it's like people will just, even my friend Kane showed up for a second, and he's like, he just showed up and he was wearing like a skirt or something and had this cool hat. And dude, people were saying like toxic shit in the comments about him, and I was like, I don't want to be a part of this. Like, I'm so glad I opted out because it's just, to me, that the worst thing of all is kind of the like toxic environment of these games. And it really highlighted the reason I wasn't in the contest at the beginning. It's because it just turns into this competitive weird thing. And I want skateboarding to remain what it is for me. And maybe one day I'll get into the toxic battle nature of something in the future. Maybe I'll compete in like art or something, or compete in, I don't know, some kind of type of sport, maybe running or something in the future. But nah, not for skateboarding. So I get enough attention on my channel that keeps me happy and sane. But if I get too much more, I think I kind of crumble over it, because I really do internalize a lot of what people say on the internet, because I genuinely am so excited to connect with communities out there of people who relate to me. But that's not the audience for a lot of these games. A lot of the audience, it's not skateboarding. It is just straight up like, I don't really skate, but I like yelling at these skaters on the screen to do the tricks better. And even today, a new video had to come out with another skater basically having to be like, hey, I'm not as bad as you guys think I was in this game. I'm actually like pretty good at skating. And he is, which skateboarders know, but the audience was like 7-year-olds were messaging him like, you suck. And it's like, dude, that's so terrible. And then of course you saw the stuff that Sean got, and it was just like, dude, it's two friends playing a game of skate, and they know each other well, and they're probably just trolling each other. But the internet, and like 10 people made videos about it, and they were like, these guys suck, right, internet? Let's just like, and I even messaged Sean when he was getting all that criticism online, and I was like, dude, like, I've dealt with this shit for a long time. Like, it's okay, it'll pass over, and you'll figure out a way to kind of make up for it. And of course, that kind of audience, they're fickle in either way. They're fickle. They'll yell at you and scream at you or whatever, and then they'll also love you if you just say what they want. And Steve Barrett came out and was like, here's a rematch, and I'm going to be the judge. The audience is like, wow, he's actually not so bad. It's like, oh my God, it's so easy to manipulate certain people. And I think you do have to have a thick skin to be on the internet, but there's just so much that I think people want to deal with on a consistent basis. And yeah, for me, I will inevitably get hate, love, everything in between, and I'm okay with it in doses. And if I can control it, I would like to keep it somewhat positive. And yeah, the Barracks is just super out of my control, and I think it's out of everyone's control. It's a little intense, but I'm excited to see what happens with everything. And I think, who knows, maybe in the future we'll think of a happier, more fun way and keep it, very skateboarding. And I don't know, it's hard. All this is hard and it's all fun, but we're living day by day, right, guys? Daily progression. That's what we're trying to do. So I'll see you next time for another video. If you did enjoy the narration aspect of this video, let me know in the comments down below. Hopefully I have enough footage to put here, just because I've been talking for like 20 minutes. But that's cool. Yeah, I'll see you next time. Every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Stay tuned for a new video. Really, I appreciate your faces. Take care, progress daily, and keep killing it.